History is made at the White House as President Truman signs the resolution of Congress approving the Anglo-American Financial Trade Agreement for a loan of £937,500,000 to Britain. Signing of the bill gives Britain the largest single credit ever granted by the United States to another nation. Picking up one pen after another, President Truman writes his name and then hands the pens to the visitors as souvenirs. And so a major step has been taken to revive international trade, which will be of mutual economic benefit to the nations of the world. The cession of Sarawak to the British Crown was formally proclaimed at an historical ceremony at Government House, Kuching. On arrival, Mr. Malcolm MacDonald, the Governor-General of Malaya, proceeded to the courthouse. Then came the appointment of Mr. C.W. Dawson as acting Governor of Sarawak, which thus becomes the latest member of the British Commonwealth of Nations. London's Guildhall witnessed one of the most popular ceremonies of all when Field Marshal Viscount Montgomery of Alamein drove up in an open carriage through the city wearing the familiar black beret and battle dress. On arrival at Guildhall, Monty was conducted by the chairman and members of the Special Reception Committee to the dais, where he was welcomed by London's Lord Mayor, Sir Charles Davis. Then the City Chamberlain, Major Irving Gain, asked the time-honored question of presentation.
Who presents this nobleman? Martin Walton, Royal County President.
After Monty had signed the Freeman's Declaration, he added his signature to the city's roll of fame. Following this, the Chamberlain offered the Field Marshal the right hand of fellowship.
It is my proud privilege as Chamberlain to offer you the right hand of fellowship and to speak to you as a citizen and mercer of London.
And then, one of the most colourful events of the day, the presentation of the token Sword of Honour by the Lord Mayor to the gallant hero of Alamein. Lord Montgomery was received with great cheering when he came forward to deliver a eulogy of the British soldier that may well become historic.
I often feel that the British soldier did not, perhaps, receive the publicity he deserved during the war. Much was heard, and rightly heard, very rightly, of the great deeds performed by our Empire brothers and by our Allied friends. And the war could not have been won without them. But amongst those in the forefront, I place the unconquerable figure of the British soldier. The British soldier has behaved admirably. They will vigorously complain of the difficulties of their lives and will appear to the outsider to be hotbeds of discontent and dissatisfaction. But this outward grumbling hides an inward stubbornness, a capacity to endure without hope of reward, which is surpassed by none other. We can fight longer without success than any other people. Staunch and tenacious in defeat, kind and gentle in victory, the one man to whom the nation owes its heartfelt thanks.
Finally, before an enthusiastic audience, the Field Marshal returned grateful thanks from the Mansion House balcony to the citizens in whose esteem he holds a unique place, thus rounding off a day never to be forgotten in the pageantry of London.
Held on the outskirts of Watford, Hertfordshire Agricultural Show gave visitors from nearby London spectacular proof of our farming qualities. Chelmsford Shrout, the champion Friesian heifer. Everything that grows, in the fields or on four legs, was represented. How fast the van horse runs now there's no deer to fool. The novices jumping competition attracted some clever riders of both sexes and one or two reluctant horses. Little Alan Oliver jumped the whole circuit without fault and won the prize. Small wonder with all this jumping, the local hunt concluded there was a meet on. Shire horses made a good showing, with the next generation coming along nicely. Despite feeding difficulties, British cattle still lead the world and are in demand by breeders on both sides of the Atlantic. In every way, the show proved that even on the post-war handicap, the country's farmers have done a great job.
"16 Lancaster bombers of the famous RAF Squadron 35, visiting America at the invitation of the United States Army Air Forces, give a demonstration flight over New York. The men who helped to smash Nazi industry in night saturation raids will make a 30-day goodwill tour of Air Force bases from coast to coast. America salutes the boys in blue, whose efforts, more than anything else, prevented German rockets and flying bombs from falling on New York and helped to bring the enemy to her knees. For the first time in its history, Eton allowed other schools to hold their sports on the famous Timbrels playing fields. There was a full afternoon's program of sporting events, the forerunner, we hope, of many more in the years to come. And at the White City Stadium, over 25,000 people came to see a thrilling day's sport in the annual championships of the Amateur Athletic Association. The 100 yards, won by A.C. McDonald's Bailey in the fast time of 9.8 seconds, a great performance on a slow track. The 120 yards hurdles gave Belgium two decisive victories, numbers 1 and 2 being P. Brackman and P. van der Sijper, and the time 14.9 seconds. In the high jump, A.S. Patterson won at a mere 6 feet 2 inches. The pole vault, always a thrill to watch, wasn't carried through without someone coming to grief. In this event, Holland distinguished herself when C. Lamoureux cleared 12 feet 10 inches. But everything failed beside the record-breaking 3-mile by S.C. Wooderson and his Dutch challenger W.F. Slijkhuis. Let's follow this classic right from the start. Wooderson is number 17. Amid terrific excitement, you'll see Wooderson, after falling back, draw level with his Dutch opponent, and just before the last bend make a supreme effort to win this never-to-be-forgotten race in 13 minutes 53.2 seconds, breaking the British native record. Donald Wooderson, a great performance indeed.